G'day guys, and welcome to the Cinnabounce, where today we will be talking about Todd Goldstein, the ruckman moving across from North Melbourne to the Essendon Bombers. This is the Watchlist. An introduction to Todd Goldstein probably isn't required because he is a 35-year-old, 201cm, 103kg ruckman who has played 315 games for his career solely and entirely for the North Melbourne Football Club. He has moved away from the club to the Essendon Bombers, the epic Essendon Bombers. Don't let my bias get in the way, as an unrestricted free agent. He is a historical player, having got the number one most hitouts in the history of the VFL/AFL with 9,835 of them. He's also got the record for most hitouts in a single game, being 80 against the Giants in 2015. In that same year, he also became the very first player in AFL history to register 1,000 hitouts in a single season. A lot of these statistics have got to come down to the fact that he has been very durable, touch wood, for the duration of his career, as well as having other injuries hit the other Kangaroo ruckmen, Hamish McIntosh, David Hale, and Drew Petrie, during his time at North Melbourne. In 2011 was when he really took over the roles as the number one ruck at North Melbourne in the absence of McIntosh, and he has established himself as one of the premier big men of the league. By 2015, he had set himself as an elite ruckman, ranking as the number one ruck in the competition and the number four player overall. He has been aging like fine wine, even in this late stage of his career, with his 2023 output quite comparative to the rest of his career's averages. When you look at his disposals, he's averaging 13, a career average of 13.2, 3.7 clearances this year. He has actually improved on that figure, as his career average is 3.1. A slight reduction in hitouts this year, 29.2, as opposed to his career average of 31.2. However, we've also seen an increase in the hitouts to advantage this past season. Now, that's obviously got to come down to having a great midfield to tap the ball down to, and this is the type of team that he is going to be making his way into at the Bombers. Not only has he been a beacon of consistency in terms of performance, he's also been a beacon of consistency in availability. And the best type of ability that a player can have is their availability. He has played less than 20 games in a season only twice since 2010, and that is including the COVID shortened 2020. He moves across to the Essendon Bombers, who finished 11th on the ladder with 11 wins and 12 losses, with a meagre percentage of 89.7. On the metrics overall for the season, they were the 15th best team in the comp, with an offensive rating of 13 and a defensive rating of 16. They were 14th for average age per player, being 25.2 years. How did they fit? Well, they just lost Andrew Phillips, who had a career best season so late in his life that he has gone and retired from the game, leaving a void. Draper went down with injury between round 15 and 20, and in that stretch, Essendon had one win and four losses. And in those 5 games, the Bombers were outscored from clearances, and an average points actually decreased by around 20.7 points. So the big man, big Sammy Draper, plays a massive role in the side, and with him going down with injury, the ruck tandem of young Nick Bryan and Andrew Phillips simply wasn't up to the occasion. He is really important, Big Sam Draper, when it comes to helping the Essendon Bombers around the stoppages and in the clearances. So looking at the stats, the Bombers were equal fourth when it comes to centre clearances per game. However, they were dead last in stoppage clearances. This is a very difficult situation to be in for the Bombers because they struggle to get and maintain field position with the ball in their front half of the ground. That is why they have relied so much on a back half game. It's that stoppage clearance number. Andrew Phillips also, whilst a serviceable ruckman, just could not be of much assistance forward of the ball as well. He could not rest forward and have a great impact in front of the big sticks. He only kicked 5 goals for all of 2023. And that is something that big Todd Goldstein can certainly address, because as he's gotten older and there has been an emergence of ruckmen coming out of North Melbourne, or at least they are trying to develop these ruckmen, Todd Goldstein has had to spend some considerable minutes forward of the ball. And when he did that, he is certainly capable of kicking a lot more goals than big Andrew Phillips. So what is the prediction? Well, I would predict that he is actually going to be the number one ruckman in 2024. And you'd think that is absolutely crazy for a guy at 35 years of age. But if you think about it, he would not have made the move to the Bombers if this wasn't the case. Why would he leave North Melbourne and come to Essendon, who really are in no position to challenge for the flag? He is going to be the number one, as Sam Draper has a massive injury cloud, or a lot of question marks associated with his availability come the start of the season. I have no doubt that he will actually be encouraged to play as the sole ruck, and therefore that would leave Nick Bryan in the VFL to continue to develop and build on his body, whilst also simultaneously bringing big Peter Wright into the ruck as a pinch hit role. This will allow the Bombers to have to play a smaller team without the requirement of fielding both Nick Bryan and Andrew Phillips. Nick Bryan was also used as the sub, or should I say he was subbed out a fair amount in 2023. So you can see that Brad Scott isn't necessarily a great fan of having to field so many big men. It seems that the Bombers, who are reliant on quick ball movement, would want to go with a smaller team and less big men. So I predict that Big Todd Goldstein is going to have a big season at the Bombers. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings this episode of the Watchlist to a close, where we spoke about Todd Goldstein moving across from North Melbourne to the Essendon Bombers. If you like what you saw here today, please drop us a like, and if you're new, a subscription would be greatly appreciated to support our channel. And remember guys, here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work so that you don't have to. Bye for now.